I said we were gonna do it. Let's do it. Breaking down a week's paycheck at Smith Transport. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, like I said there in the open, we're going to be breaking down a week's paycheck here at Smith Transport. So you might get an idea of what you could possibly make, or if you're curious to see what I've made here, I'm going to be breaking this down, telling you about the miles, the trips, how much money, net, gross, all that stuff. This paycheck here was my very first paycheck of driving. This was my very first paycheck here at Smith Transport that wasn't, you know, orientation pay or, you know, any type of... This was my very first driving paycheck right here. I talked about it, I mentioned it in a different video here. Just to be transparent off the top, I am a 12-2 OTR driver, so I'm home every other weekend. So that pays me 60 cents a mile. So just so everybody's clear up front, this is what I'm that's where I'm at, that's what I'm making. So if you're curious, you know, if you're going to be doing a 12-2 OTR, this might be geared towards you, or just in general, if you're looking about coming over here to Smith, this is what I made, showing you just like it is, telling you just like it is. So let's get into it. So my very first paycheck, this check date was July the 25th of 2024. So this was my very first full driving paycheck here at Smith Transport. The miles I got that week were 2,503 miles. So, you know, I would say that's about an average week or so, you know, being here a little bit longer than that now. Looking back, you know, 2,500 miles, you know, it seems to be about average. Sometimes I get more, sometimes I get less, but it seems to be about the average. But that grossed us $1,706. Just to be transparent, you can see it right here. If you want to zoom in or pause or whatever, it shows it. Gross $1,706, 2,503 miles. This paycheck was a mix of some accessorial pay, meaning it wasn't just straight miles. We had a little bit of breakdown pay in here. We had some other pay in here from... So I had to go down to Atlanta to get my truck, so there's $150 extra pay in there just from orientation in Pennsylvania down to Atlanta. They paid me $150 for just going in the van, even though I didn't drive or anything, just going in the van and going down to Atlanta. So there's a little bit of everything in this. Mostly miles, a little accessorial pay. Sorry, I can't say that word. And yeah, so we're going to break it down here. So my actual net, what I brought home, was exactly $1,325.15. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says that down here at the bottom. Literally, that's what was direct deposited to my bank account. This was my very first paycheck, just driving. You know what I'm saying? This is my very first driving paycheck, $1,325. I will say, to preface, that I don't think this is like a crazy large amount of money, but it's a good amount of money, I think, in today's market, you know, considering the way that, you know, some companies have cut a lot of driver's pay and accessorial pay and stuff like that. Are you gonna be a millionaire off this paycheck? No, but I believe it's fair for the market, and about 800 other drivers appear to think so as well. So with this paycheck, some of the trips that we did were, so I started off by going down from Pennsylvania to Atlanta in the van, so that paid me $150 right out of the gate. And then my first actual load here was a T-call that picked up in Cartersville, Georgia. That was actually supposed to be picked up out of Locust Grove, Georgia, which is like south of Atlanta, but it was T-called in Cartersville. I went up there and picked it up, and I ran that up to Monroe, Ohio. So we did that run there. And then we had some DHL loads after that. I did, from Monroe, Ohio, I went over down to, on the other side of Cincinnati, Erlanger, Kentucky. I did 2 trips of Erlanger to Atlanta, back to Erlanger. And then that DHL specific. I did that. And then from there, I had to bounce over 238 miles over to Lima, Ohio to pick up a trailer that had something going on with it. I picked up that trailer, got it repaired, and then we had a load that went from Massillon to Waterloo, New York. Dropped that in Waterloo, New York. And then from there, we went from Waterloo, New York down to Watkins Glen, New York, which the final consignee was down there in Winchester, Virginia. And then the rest was some per diem stuff. So just to be transparent, I'm telling you what's going on this page here. I should also say that we get all of these check summaries in the mail for whatever reason. I don't know why. My last company, we had like check summaries that came in our email, so I could physically see this, but you know, I guess they don't do that over there at Heartland Express, Smith Transport, whatever. I don't know the reason why. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But I have a physical copy here. I grabbed this when I was on home time. I figured I'd do a video about it. Again, just to be transparent, a lot of people are interested in this kind of stuff. Money. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all seeing, you know, that's why we're all watching this video. So it all comes down to money. But that's what I got. Some per diem stuff. Which is $69 a night, by the way, $69 a day or night, whatever, per diem, 69 bucks. And then, yes, we have the per diem stuff, and then I have the orientation pay, which that second bit of orientation pay and stuff like that. So, again, the total amount that we earned here was right by my finger, $1,325.15, right there. That was my very first paycheck. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of briefly go through this here quickly. Again, are you going to be a rich guy making checks like this? No, but I think you'll be doing all right if you can stay consistent. If we can stay consistent with the miles and everything. I will say here at Smith Transport, we do seem to have a consistent amount of freight. I don't really sit around here, you know, fast forward from the point of this first check to now, I have not been really sitting around much at all, so they do seem to keep you moving. I think the key is to submit your PTA, and as you need to update it, update it. You can set it 1,000 times, it does not really matter, as long as it's somewhat accurate. Doesn't have to be exact, but, you know, just to give a good idea to your dispatcher and the planner that, you know, this is when I plan on be empty, so they can, you know, find you something and send you over to it. So it's good. They keep you busy here. You do seem to get a lot of consistent freight, a lot of drop and hook, 90% drop and hook, believe it or not. I didn't really believe it either. I said, let me see it for myself. I'm seeing it for myself. It does seem to be consistent. Like right now, for example, I am like around the corner from my receiver. I'm up here in Lock Haven, PA. I just brought this up from Anderson, South Carolina, which is about, I think it was like 100 something deadhead miles and like 660 loaded miles. So this is a nice little run here, a little about 800 miles or so. I'm gonna drop this tomorrow morning because it's scheduled to drop tomorrow. At the little, what is it, the Lucky 7 diesel. It's like right around the corner from the receiver here. If you've been here, if you're a Smith driver, you know. But yeah, we're up here in Lock Haven. We're gonna get that dropped, then we're gonna keep it rolling. But yeah, man, what the recruiter will tell you over the phone, I will say and happy to report that for the most part, it seems to be pretty accurate. I haven't been here long enough to say that everything's 100% accurate, but shout out to our recruiting team for being truthful and honest. Those guys and gals over there are not, they're salary based. And I say that to say that they're not paid like, you know, a flat rate or whatever just to get warm bodies in the door. It's not like that here at Smith. These guys seem to be very true to what they say. They've been in business for over 40 years. Like, that doesn't just happen by, you know, lying to people and having a terrible reputation, where I think it's quite the opposite. I'm happy to report, you know, it is what they say it is. You can get checks like this if you decide to sign up. I think the current offerings are like 55 to 65 cents a mile, depending on which division you run. We have weekly home time, 12/2, or you can do 21/7. If you want to do Walmart, we have 3-day work weeks. We have home every day if you live in certain parts of Pennsylvania. We have a New England dedicated. You get home every weekend if you live up there in New England. It pays 65 cents a mile. If you run Walmart, you get paid 70 cents a mile over the weekend. Like, there's money to be made here. They have a lot of freight. You know, being under the Heartland umbrella as well is just another reason that they're reinforced in a lackluster economy, that they have the backup of a big mega carrier. In case we need to pull some of their freight for whatever reason. Like, occasionally I'll get a water load out of Brightingsville, PA, which is a Heartland load. But a lot of times it's just the Smith stuff. We're staying busy over here. Money is every Friday. It seems to be consistent. Per diem. They have retirement options. I gotta look into all that as far as benefits is concerned. Call Recruiter if you want to find out specifics on that. The only thing that sucks is they don't have any referral at the moment. I wish they did, because this video does seem to help a lot of people out. I get a lot of reinforcing comments and people very thankful seeing information like this coming direct from a driver, that I try to be as neutral and unbiased as possible. But I am happy to report that I am genuinely having a good experience here at Smith. I think that you would too. But just make sure this is a good fit for you, whether you need a certain amount of miles, or you want to make a certain amount per week or whatever. Just make sure this is a good fit for you. Call recruiting, ask them all the questions you need to ask as far as, you know, when you could get home, or your specifics, or if you have specific responsibilities that are different than mine. Just make sure this is a good fit. That's what I tell everybody. Don't just take my word for it. I'm a stranger on the internet. Don't listen to strangers. But I'm telling you, my experience here has been positive. I think you should call and find out if you're curious. 888-GO-SMITH, or SmithTransport.com, SmithDrivers.com, whatever. You can find it. Google, you can see all the current offerings. Again, you know, time of posting, I think it's like 55 to 65 cents a mile, paid weekly. A lot of 90% drop and hook. Newer Peterbilt tractors. If you're interested in learning more about the equipment and stuff, I have videos about that. My first loads here. I have a lot of videos talking about some of the stuff here, my experience here at Smith Transport. 3 things I like, 3 things I hate about being at Smith Transport so far. A lot of stuff that people coming over here might be interested in. So if you're interested in any of that, please feel free to search my videos all about Smith Transport since I've been here. Orientation, I have a whole video about orientation. All of it. But yeah, guys, my very first driving paycheck, $1,325 direct deposit to my bank account. This could be you. If you want to learn more, go learn more. Call recruiters. They don't bite. Guys and gals over there are great. Salary folks, orientation's good. Equipment has been great for me so far. I just did a 5,000 mile review of my time here so far. I've done a lot more than that since then, but you know, at that point it was like 5,000 miles or whatever. So anyway, with all that being said, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you want to make money like this, smash the like button. Comments, questions, concerns down below. Subscribe if you're new, like if you made it to this portion of the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.